Hallo alle zusammen. Wir machen jetzt einen kleinen Workshop zusammen. We will do a little workshop together. Und in diesem Workshop zeige ich dir, wie du richtig Deutsch lernen kannst. I will show you how you can learn German the right way. Hast du Lust? Do you feel like it? Hast du Lust? Ja? Okay. In diesem Workshop werde ich dir zeigen, dass du nicht lange Wortlisten und Grammatikregeln auswendig lernen musst. In this workshop, I will show you that you don't have to learn long word lists and grammar rules by heart, because that usually doesn't work.
Oh no!
Willst du Deutsch lernen? Do you want to learn German? Willst du Deutsch lernen? Ja oder nein? Oder vielleicht? Ich hoffe, ja. So, of course, I hope you want to learn German, then this workshop will be very useful for you. Maybe you're a beginner to the German language and you're just new and trying to find what's the best way for you. Maybe you've also tried lots of apps and books and YouTube videos and learned a lot of grammar and all that, and just when it comes to speaking, you feel a little bit clumsy. Ja, wenn du sprichst, fühlt es sich nicht natürlich an. When you're speaking, it doesn't feel natural. You're trying to translate in your head, you're thinking about all the grammar rules you learned and the sentence structure, ja. Die verrückte deutsche Grammatik, the crazy German grammar. And in the end, it's just hard to actually get a word out or to speak, and when you speak, people don't understand you, you're scared, and then you just feel like, oh my God, I can't do it. So hopefully this method, which I will teach you in this video, and then I will also give you free German material in the next video, hopefully it will work for you. You can use it with my YouTube videos, with other YouTube videos, you can use it with German books. Also, if you want to join my academy, you can use it there, wherever you want. I hope this will help you. Ich hoffe, das wird dir helfen. Und noch etwas ganz Wichtiges. Dieser Workshop wird nur für 2 Wochen online sein. This workshop will only be online for 2 weeks, then we will take it offline. So I hope you get the most out of it. Und jetzt fangen wir an. Now we will start. Los geht's. The problem with traditional teaching methods. Das Problem mit traditionellen Lehrmethoden. So in traditional teaching, often you have to memorize thousands of words and then you have to string them together in sentences with complicated grammar rules. Ja, du lernst tausende von Wörtern und dann musst du die irgendwie zusammenbauen mit komplizierten Grammatikregeln. So, unfortunately, that's not how it works. Leider funktioniert das so nicht. Because you just don't have the time in the conversation to think about all the rules, right? Then you have all the rules in your head, and then when you have to speak, you start thinking about them and you just can't get a word out because you're so scared of making a mistake or because also just you don't know how to say it. Ja, du weißt nicht, wie man es richtig sagt. And you might feel like you have to invent every single sentence in German from scratch. Vielleicht fühlst du dich so, als ob du jeden Satz erfinden musst. To invent, in German we say erfinden, erfinden. But there is a better way to learn German. Es gibt einen besseren Weg, um Deutsch zu lernen. So, you don't have to invent or reinvent any German. Native speakers are using it every single day. Wir Muttersprachler benutzen Deutsch jeden Tag. Muttersprachler, der Muttersprachler oder die Muttersprachlerin is the native speaker. So you don't have to invent German. You can just observe us. So learn German by observing native speakers in conversations. Listen for how they build their sentences, words combined in expressions, collocations, phrases, and chunks, which I explain soon. So, du kannst einfach uns Muttersprachler beobachten. Beobachten means to observe and see how we build sentences and then just use the same sentences or the same chunks, which I will explain to you soon. And then you will notice one thing. A switch turns on in your head. And you will be like, oh, so that's how a German native speaker says it. Oh, so sagt das ein deutscher Muttersprachler oder so sagen das deutsche Muttersprachler. This is the plural. So once you notice how we say it, it will be much easier for you to say it the same way because you will be 100% certain that this is the right way to say it, right? So because if you translate in your head, there might always be some doubt. Oh, is this how it's correct? And then the grammar rule and you're not sure. But if you observe a native speaker and you just use the same word combinations or the same sentence, the same, just how we say it, then it's right. Es ist richtig. Okay? So, learn German by observing Germans. That's what I teach my students in my academy. That's basically the center of all of it. You just observe native speakers and say it like they say it. So, and once you've read the word combinations, which are also called chunks, you can learn them by repetition. The more you see a certain chunk or a sentence, the more often you repeat it, the more automatic it will become. And then you start using them yourself. Even if you don't fully understand the grammar behind it, that will come later. So you shouldn't have grammar as your main priority. You still need grammar. Ja? Du brauchst ein bisschen Grammatik. You need a little bit of grammar. But it shouldn't be your main focus. So why learning by observing dialogues works so well? Introducing chunking. So let's see. German native speakers don't even have to think about cases, sentence structure, and all of that because they have word combinations, chunks, in their brain. If you're a native English speaker, you're also not thinking about single words and then you're thinking about the grammar rules behind them, or if you're a native Spanish speaker, it's the same thing. You don't have to think about all the grammar rules all the time. It just comes out because there's certain word combinations, sentences, phrases, they're just in your brain. Like, ¿cómo estás? By the way, all these things, they're word combinations and you just know them. They just roll off your tongue. And if you want to learn German, you should start using them as well. So, for example, I already told you some English chunks. How is it going? In German, it would be wie geht's? That's also a perfect chunk. Wie geht's? Then, by the way, it's a word combination. And in German, it would be übrigens. It's just one word. But if you were to translate, for example, by the way, literally, it would be bei dem Weg. It means something completely different. It doesn't work. You see, if you try to translate literally in your head, it doesn't work. You have to learn these word combinations, or just even sometimes it's just a single word in another language. Or for example, he is waiting for you. Wartet auf dich. In German, we use the preposition auf, which literally means on. So if you were to translate here literally, you would say, maybe wartet für dich or dir. You wouldn't know maybe. Für, because that's in English, right? But that's wrong in German. Das ist falsch in Deutsch. We say auf dich. So, jetzt zeige ich dir eins meiner Videos und zeige dir ein paar Chunks in dem Video. Darf's noch? This is a perfect example of a chunk. Darf's noch was sein? So basically this whole phrase is a chunk or just a sentence you can remember. Darf's noch was sein oder sonst noch etwas? Anything else? Very useful.
Was sein. This is like, is there anything else? Darf's noch was sein oder sonst noch etwas? Nein, das ist alles. Danke.
This is a good phrase for you to remember if you want to answer that question. Das ist alles. That's all. Thanks.
12,90 €. Gut, ich bezahle.
Ich bezahle. So, ich bezahle is also a phrase which is just, you can remember, I pay. Ich bezahle. And that's it. So you don't need to know the conjugation of the verbs and so on. Of course, it's useful, but you can also just remember, ich bezahle, I pay, and then use it somewhere. If you're going out with a friend, you can be like, hey, ich bezahle, I pay. Also, was sind chunks? So what are chunks? They are word combinations Wortkombinationen with a specific meaning that are always or very often used together and that you don't even think about as separate words. So in the video which you just saw, you saw darf's noch was sein oder darf's noch etwas sein, sonst noch etwas. These are just chunks. Yeah, it's in this case they are a whole sentence, but it's words together and you just know that they are right. You've heard use them so often that they are hardwired in your brain as patterns, and you don't have to know the grammar behind them. Native speakers don't know it either, but they roll off your tongue in conversations. So for example, what we also say in German is zum Frühstück. This means for breakfast. That's also very good chunk. You don't need to know the grammar behind it because it's zu dem Frühstück, it's actually dative. You can just remember zum Frühstück. So, the trick to speak fluent German is to listen to lots and lots of real-life conversations, like the one you just saw in my video. Then you identify the chunks, you observe and see what is a good chunk which I could use in my own life. You memorize them and so they can roll off your tongue in conversations because they just become automatic. And of course, it's not that easy because you still need some grammar knowledge. So some grammar is important in German. Ein bisschen Grammatik ist wichtig, besonders auch für die Satzstruktur, especially also for the sentence structure. And the other thing is, you can't just go on the street and listen to other people's conversation and you probably won't understand much. So if you just go out in the street and you try to listen to people's conversations, you probably won't understand much. You need some subtitles, yeah, some Untertitel. Then it would be good if you repeat over and over again. If you also do some exercises, if you have some flashcards, then also if you get some support from native speakers. And you shouldn't use any German material, but actually material that's useful. So it's better if you have real relevant material which you can actually use and which is built on a structure. So you need an actual step-by-step plan or a system. Then it will be much easier for you to follow instead of just learning whatever comes to your mind, right? So, and that's why we came up with a method to teach German through dialogues and chunks in our courses. And that's the 3+1 formula. And that's why my academy is also called the 3+1 German Academy. The 3+1 formula, key ingredients for brain-friendly language learning. So, die fangen alle mit R an. They are all starting with an R. The first one is right mindset. In German, richtige Denkweise. So this means, first of all, you got to be motivated to learn German. You got to really want it and also picture yourself in situations where you're going to speak German, either with your relatives or with the parents of your boyfriend or girlfriend or just working in Germany, whatever it is. Picture yourself in these situations and believe that it is possible. Also, what is important in the right mindset is that you actually set up a system to learn German. Because willpower is kind of limited, you know. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I want to learn German. And next week you're like, I gave up learning German. So sometimes the system is much more useful than having a distant goal. Like, oh, in 1 month I want to be fluent in German. It's kind of discouraging. But if you just say, hey, I want to learn every day, I want to learn 15 minutes of German, just 15 or 20 minutes. That's doable and you can stick to it. Like you just do it for a month or for 2 months or something, or you join a challenge. In my academy, we usually always have challenges because they keep people motivated until the end. Und Nummer 2, number 2, relevant content. Relevante Inhalte. So don't use outdated material or what I talked about before, just grammar books or word lists or anything like that. Use content that is actually useful for everyday life, and that's mostly dialogues. Each time you want to talk to somebody, it's a dialogue, and that's what you need to focus on, and then just keep focusing on observing native speakers. Stop translating, start observing. That's very important. Und das dritte, the third one, repetition. Very, very important. If you, for example, just go to the gym one time, you're not gonna be fit. You're not gonna be in shape. It's the same with languages. If you just read a sentence or something once, it's not going to be stuck in your head. It just doesn't work like that. You need repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill. In German, we would say regelmäßige Wiederholung. Regular repetition. Regelmäßige Wiederholung. And the best way to repeat it is again with a system. So if you just set yourself up to learn a little bit of German every day, then you just keep repeating over and over again. Also, there is a ratio which I recommend to my student, which is 3:1, just like the 3+1 formula. So if you study new content for 3 hours, you need at least 1 hour repetition in between. And that's just a ratio. You can also say, for example, if you study for 30 minutes, you need at least 10 minutes of repetition. So what you can use for repeating things which is very useful, is the spaced repetition system. And that's what we use in our academy. It's with flashcards. So flashcards on your phone or on your computer or wherever, and you repeat the chunks or the phrases, the sentences over and over again until they just are automatic. And the last one is the +1, the reality check. Of course, at some point in your German studies, you need to go to Germany or to at least speak to a native speaker online or somewhere in your country and just put into practice what you learned and then fix your mistakes. But first, the input is very important. Right mindset, relevant content, repetition. And by the way, all of these, they are connected. They are all connected. For example, if you have good content, you have fun content, relevant content, the more fun you have, the better your mindset is going to be, because you're going to be motivated to learn more. The better your mindset is, if you're motivated and you really have a system, the easier it's going to be to repeat things and so on. They are all interrelated. Some of our student experiences, it's just about the method of chunking. So Jeffrey, for example, he said, I want to take time to especially thank Anja, Lukas and their team. Lukas is my partner. He helps me create these courses. And my team, I have tried to learn German for the last year with mixed results until this course. I have been in Austria for 2 days and I have heard and used so many chunks already. It seems so natural to use them and not think so hard about translating in your head. Vielen Dank für alles. Looking forward to the next course. So it's all about the chunking system and observing natives. I am in Vienna, and when I use the chunks from the lessons with my native German friends, they are surprised and it gives me super confidence to speak more German. Must say, wonderful progress. Thank you guys, and to all the voiceover folks for their contribution. So what's next? Was kommt als nächstes? For example, here you also have a good chunk. Als nächstes means next. In English, it's just one word. In German, we say als nächstes. Okay? So, in a couple of days, I will show you, as I said, the new video, 3 dialogues, full walkthrough with me. I will show you how to work with them. And please also join our Facebook group. The link is in the description. Wir haben eine Facebook-Gruppe. Ja. If you don't have Facebook, no worries. The videos will be on YouTube. The most important stuff will also be on YouTube. The Facebook group is good for additional questions and material and all this type of stuff. And let me know in the comments, was ist dein Lieblingschunk? What is your favorite chunk that you've seen in my videos and other videos, maybe even in this video? There's so many chunks in German. Maybe you've heard or seen some that you actually like and that you can use just like that. So do you have any examples of chunks you discovered yourself? And also let me know if this method resonates with you. What do you think about this method? What have you tried so far? How have you been learning German? How long have you been learning German? What does actually work for you? Let me know in the comments. Gut, das ist alles und ich hoffe, diese Methode gefällt euch. I hope you like this method. Let me know and see you in the next video. Bis zum nächsten Video. Dankeschön und tschüss.